What's up, everybody? So today we're going to be installing the Maglock Kingpin on our Ar15. Will work for all Ar15 platforms, lower receivers. So this is what comes in the kit minus the screwdriver. So what you're going to have first is your Kingpin itself. This is the button you're going to press to separate the lower and the upper receiver. Next, you're going to have your little detent. You're going to have your detent spring. These are two different sizes than the originals. So this is also the spring for the Kingpin itself. And I'm also going to be using a really small screwdriver. You're going to need that for the detent to push it back. I'll show you that right here. You're going to have to push the screwdriver in between the detent and the receiver. Push it back so you can push the Kingpin through. You're also going to need some type of castle nut wrench so that you can loosen your castle nut enough to get your spring and your detent out. So yeah, let's get to it. Also, if you've never done this before, you're also going to have to press in your buffer spring retainer, and I'll show you how to do all of that momentarily. So let's get to it. So here I'm going to be removing the upper receiver from the lower. It's just going to make it much easier for me to work on it and show you guys everything as I'm moving all this stuff around. So with those two separated, let's show you the next step. So now we're going to have to, after you get the castle nut and everything loose, you're going to have to push down this retainer. So you could either use like a screwdriver to push it down, or you could just use your finger. A little easier to use the screwdriver, but we'll just use our finger for this step. Also, make sure that this plate's all the way back because it has this little indentation and it could stay in the rifle and not allow your stock to move. So just things to keep in mind as you're going about this. So let's push this in, and when you push it in, there you go. We're going to be able to turn it, and you can see that it is rotated. So when you lay it down, sometimes it'll want to try to go back and lock in place. I like to put like a little rag under it to keep it elevated and kept from moving. Alright, cool. So now that that's out the way and done, you're going to go ahead and grab your Kingpin. And you're also going to need some like a type of gun oil, a CLP, something just to lubricate the spring when you go to slide it onto the Kingpin. So this is what I'm going to be using. It's from Delta Team Tactical Premium CLP. Just a clean, lubricate, protect type of oil. Any type of oil will work for this. You just need to lubricate the Kingpin so when you slide on the spring, it makes everything hassle-free. A little bit easier. You don't want to damage the spring. So now we're going to take the spring, take the Kingpin, and on the smaller side, you're going to go ahead and slide it on. But we're going to want to do this very gently, not using force. Just let that oil do the work. Let it slide on all the way to the button. So that's all it is. Now that spring is installed, let's set this to the side and move to our next step. So now with that out the way, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our detent. Now this detent that comes in this kit is going to be a bit longer than your traditional AR detent. So I don't have the detent to show you a comparison. This is where the detent is going to drop in on the right side of the receiver at the back. Under the back plate is that hole. So you're just going to drop that in. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take this spring for the detent. Take that detent spring. It's also a different size than the original traditional spring. So I'll show you what that looks like with that installed. You're just going to push that right behind the detent. Let it drop all the way down. If it sticks a little bit up, make sure you go ahead and push it down all the way to where it's flush. It's not like your traditional. It's not going to stick up and out of the receiver. It's going to sit all the way flush. So don't be alarmed if it goes all the way down. That's completely normal. And that's what the detent is going to look like when it's in the slot. So next thing that we're going to do is we're going to push that retainer back down just like I talked about earlier, allowing us to twist, and you can hear the audible click when you put it back in place. So now that the buffer tube is in place, the retainer is set, we're going to go ahead and push that back plate down, and we're just going to twist that castle nut down Tighten it all the way. Make sure it's tight and snug. You're also going to take your castle nut wrench and make sure that you tighten down the castle nut 100%. I snugged it in this portion of the video, but after I did fully tighten it. So just make sure you fully tighten the castle nut. So boom, get that snug. Now that we're here, this is what the detent looks like. You got that installed. So let's go ahead and throw the upper back on, turn the gun over to the left side. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more oil on this Kingpin. Now it's time to go into the receiver. So I'll show you that. Get you a little close up. Now you're literally just going to take it on the left side of the receiver, slide it in, push it to where it can't no more. Do not use force. Once you feel that it stops and there's hesitation, that's completely normal. Do not try to force it. That means it's hitting on the detent. So now you're going to need to take something like a small screwdriver or something that could fit in between that detent and the receiver to push the detent back. So here that is. Push your screwdriver or something in. Push the detent towards the rear of the receiver. And there's little slots. Go ahead and twist your Kingpin until it locks in the slot. And I'll show you that right here. So this is locked into the slot. This is barely starting. You're not finished yet. You still need to push the Kingpin 100% in. So it will twist a little bit back and forth. That's normal. Go ahead and push the Kingpin all the way through, and then you could twist it. So once it's twisting like that, it'll stop, it'll come back, and that's locked in place. The Kingpin is now installed. It's locked in place. It's not going to come out, as you can see. And I'll show you the functions of that. So now with your Kingpin installed, this is the Maglock. It will not press down. Obviously, as you know, the Maglock keeps the magazine locked in. Cannot depress the magazine lock until you press this Kingpin. So what that does is cracks that receiver just like that. Just enough to be able to let the Maglock go in between that gap and drop your magazine. So it's like a quick solution instead of having to remove your traditional pin, and it takes way too much time. This is just one press of a button and you're good to go. So I'm going to show you a little bit more of a close-up right here. Press your Kingpin. Boom, Maglock is good to go. So that's pretty much all it is, guys. Thanks for watching the install.